Okay, guys, here we go with part two, initial with textures. You can see from the first one, where I've got from the first one is I did the simulated texture first, then I did an abstract texture, and then I also did an abstract texture on the right-hand side. So just kind of want to take you through the process of completing or getting it this far, okay? Now, like I said at the beginning, I did the simulated texture in the one negative area of the initial. And then the next thing I want to do, from my template, I took an abstract texture. And it was an abstract texture of a weaving. What I'm going to do first is just kind of pencil in this texture. I want to do that before I begin inking in, just to give me some borders and some boundaries. If we go straight into the inking, we might make a mistake. So I want to do them first in pencil. I'm not going to shade them in pencil. I might shade a little bit in pencil, but for the most part, I just want to kind of lay everything out. And then once I have everything laid out in pencil, I can come in and I can do some shading in pen and just kind of bumped it up here a little bit. And this was a big area of the initial for me, so that's one of the reasons why I chose an abstract texture. Okay, now at this point, I know the camera kind of missed a little bit of the texturing that I'm doing, but I'm starting to add in some value and some ink to my abstract texture. Wish I would have did a little bit better job filming here, but it's okay. All right, so now what I've done is a time lapse of some of the inking techniques I used for my abstract texture. And it being abstract, a lot of times I just filled them in with just solid color. I also made a mistake you might see in the middle of the letter. I actually overlapped part of the letter, but that's okay as well. I'm going to continue inking everything in, and just about finished with it. I know this entire process probably took me well over an hour, so that's about how long it takes. What I want to show you here is how to create a texture. I have the one section where I want to do a texture, and so this is something you can try. You don't have to do it. But I did a rubbing on a brick wall with a piece of tracing paper. Use the side of your pencil, and then after you have that done, put that texture, that rubbing, face down. And then once you put it face down, you can take like the back of your thumbnail and really rub it. And what it will do is transfer onto the paper. You can also take something like a pair of scissor handles or something like that and just rub it down. And then once you rub it down and lift it up, you see there's a little image there. So what I can do with that now is begin to ink in wherever there were dark areas left behind from the textural rubbing. And that's one way to create a texture. It's something a little bit different, but it does work. I'm going to go a little bit faster here and just kind of ink in the rest of this texture. And then what I want to show you guys how to do, I don't know if you noticed this or not in the photograph, but I have a shadow in behind my letter. And what I'm going to do here is basically show you guys how to do that. Little hatching, cross hatching. I didn't get it real dark. I just made everything a little bit darker. And now you see what it kind of does. It makes that letter almost jump off the page at you. And it's kind of cool the way it sits in front of all those different types of textures that we see in this initial. So that's part two. Obviously, I still have a little ways to go, so I'll continue working, you continue working, and have a great day.